Hello YouTube, I'm on a Tiger and I'm out for a little ride at dusk. Yeah, the Scrambler's going in for its 6,000 mile service tomorrow, but rather than me taking the Scrambler in first thing in the morning and then having to go to work from the dealership has kindly let me drop the bike off yesterday and borrow their Tiger for today and tomorrow. So basically tomorrow I could just go straight to work without having to faff around with stuff, so that's a big help. So yeah, we'll be doing that and dropping this back off to them tomorrow once the Scrambler has had its service and my wallet has been emptied a lot. Ouch. But anyway, I've got this to play around on, so that's all good. Went for a pretty good ride out earlier with the soon-to-be father-in-law. We went over to Wesson's Cafe over in Horsham, East Sussex, and then down to Beachy Head. So yeah, that was a good ride out until it started raining. So yeah, got a little bit wet there. Wasn't too bad. But no, I've had fun on this today. It's been really good, and I kind of want one. That's something I've just learned. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can deactivate the cruise control. Usually that's either you tap the brake, or if you pull the clutch in, it disengages. Or I've just found that if you, in fact, let's set it at 34. We're all right because this is a 40 zone. 34, and if I want to disengage it, you sort of push the throttle forwards, like you're rolling off, but then an extra bit. There's a little, yeah, you can sort of clunk it forward slightly, and it disengages. So yeah, there's several different ways to disconnect the cruise control. That's something I've learned. So yeah, here we go, disengage, pop, and it's off. I think this video is turning into a bit of a mini review of this, isn't it? I'm going over the features and stuff. Okay, well, we're going to hit the National in a sec, so let's give it some welly. Now, I don't know the specs off the top of my head, but it's certainly got more power than you're ever going to want, than you're ever going to need on the road. It's fantastic. Just pull, it just keeps pulling and pulling. This 800 triple engine is just fantastic. So yeah, I want one really. This is something you don't see when you're doing a daytime test ride. The display is nicely illuminated. It's very clear and it's not glary at all. It's not blinding or anything like that. Always a good thing. Anyway, you probably can't see very much anymore because it's yeah, it's a bit dark now and also a bit foggy or misty. So I'll leave you with some clips from earlier in the day because there's some been on some good roads today. I'm on a Tiger. Raw. This is Tony the Tiger. There we go, that was Wesson's. Yeah, that is a really nice cafe if you're ever in this area. Do pop in and have a bite to eat. I've had a very nice cheeseburger. Down to Beachy Head now, and not sure what the rain's going to do. It's kind of, I think it's dispersing, so we should be alright. I think the worst of it's behind us, but I think it's coming this way, so hopefully we can stay in front of it. So anyway, this is the Tiger XCX. Last time I rode one of these, it was the XR version, which is more road orientated. So yeah, this is a little bit more built towards handling like those gravel tracks and things like that. Bit of green laning, that sort of thing. It's got the spoked wheels and a few other bits and bobs, such as the these things on the end of the handlebars. These things, you know, the what they're called. Completely blank. I've completely forgotten the word for them. for some reason. Handguards, that's the word. Yeah. Fuck's sake. Pillock. So this one hasn't got the heated grips or the heated seat like the R version that I tried. It has got the cruise control though, and all the various rider modes and stuff. And I think the only other difference as well, I think it is slightly taller than the XR. So this one has the low rider seat on in its lowest position, and it is only just enough for me to comfortably get my foot down. In fact, it's comfortably pushing it, if I'm honest. I can manage, but yeah, it's if this was more permanent, then I would definitely have to have it lowered. But I think if I was having one of these, it would be the XR version anyway, XR low, with as many toys on it as possible, because the toys are awesome. And they're such good bikes. They're so good to ride. They're very smooth. It's ride-by-wire throttle. So comfortable. And they pack quite a bit of punch. I say it's only the 800 one, but they still... they can still shift. My only real gripe is the screen. Now the screen, as far as I'm aware, is adjustable, because I'm sure we adjusted it on the XR version when I was out with Captain Rambunctious last year. But yeah, it could do with being dropped down a bit, because the wind is coming right off the top of the screen, and it's hitting me right in the visor. And it's buffeting a bit, so yeah, it does need to drop down a bit. Now there's a nice view down the coast. It's rather windy up here, but the roads are pretty good. Oh, we like that. I've not been down this bit. Cool little Honda. Well, unfortunately, it's time to take this back to the dealership now and pick up the Scrambler. Well, fortunately, / unfortunately. Bad that I'm taking this back, but good I'm getting my Scrambler back. I've loved every minute on this Tiger. I would definitely be considering getting one of these as my next bike when that time comes. Realistically, I think the XC is just a little bit too tall, but they do the low frame version, so it would definitely have to be that if I was going for the C. But yeah, on this one, it is. I'm 5'3", and it is a bit of a struggle, and getting on it is quite a lunge, and getting the side stand up is a bit of an effort as well. So yeah, it's not entirely comfortable for the shorter rider. So bear that in mind if you're in the market for one of these. By all means, go sit on one and try it and see what you think, but definitely consider the lower versions, because yeah, don't discount it because it's too high. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's there are options for the shorter rider, so you can try that out. And the weight of it as well, I think if you're coming up from a lightweight bike, you would, moving this thing around, it does feel quite heavy. But actually, because I'm used to the weight of my Scrambler, this doesn't feel any heavier. It looks a lot bigger, but it certainly doesn't feel any heavier. In fact, I don't know what the figures are for the weight, but if it is heavier, it's certainly a lot lower down. It's a lot easier to manoeuvre this around. And when you're in traffic and stuff, this is so well balanced, so easy to ride slow. It is quite nimble, actually, for the size of it. Filtering on it's pretty... filtering on it's not as bad as you might think, because it does look quite wide. But actually, I think because of its height, it's a lot easier to filter on. And because it's so smooth as well, it's just such a joy to ride, whatever the scenario. And it's been great having one of these for more than just an hour or two, like you normally get on a normal test ride. You can actually yeah, there's you can learn so much more about a bike when you've got that extra time. So yeah, I would love to do some more longer term reviews of bikes, because then you can really get a good feel for what it's going to be like to own. I've never filled up a test ride, but excluding the the Scrambler last year that we ran out of fuel on.
Oh dear!
I've never put any fuel in a demonstrator, so you don't get to experience the flap and things like that. Just the little things of how easy or how niggly it may or may not be. So I'm about to fill this up, because they gave it me with a full tank. I think it's only fair that I return it to them with a full tank, especially as the fuel light's on. There we go, what's that? 15.6 litres, yeah, so if we say 16 litres at the very least, including what was left in the tank. Probably takes a while for the the bars to fill back up once they realise that there's fuel in it. It's still only showing us 2 bars. At least the fuel light's gone off. I don't know if someone can explain this. Maybe it's to stop you putting the fuel nozzle all the way in the tank, or putting it too far in the tank. But yeah, just inside the fuel tank hole, there is a little metal rod across the middle of the hole, so you can't put the nozzle all the way in. So I'm guessing maybe that's to prevent you damaging the inside of the petrol tank or something. I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. I have no idea what it's actually for, but it's there. There we go. Right. Well, Tony the Tiger, our journey has come to an end. Thank you for that. Big thanks to Destination Triumph here at Washington for letting me have it for the weekend and let me drop my Scrambler off early. That's been a big help.